I'm Diana Falzone, and this is 4 for 4 Science, where we break down 4 cutting-edge science topics so you don't have to. You're welcome. You can send a note later. Russia wants to target near-Earth objects with its intercontinental ballistic missiles. Is this a real-life Star Wars, James?
Russia wants to nuke meteorites. Why not? You know,
Near the Earth.
Well, they'd be quite far away. I mean, what are the alternatives? The meteorite hits us. But no, seriously, apparently they're looking at using these missiles. They want to test one on an asteroid that's going to come, quote-unquote, dangerously close to the Earth in 2036. So it looks like this is a goer. The whole idea here is that, you know, if you're looking at using a rocket to target these things, they can take 10 days to fuel. But obviously with the missile, you just send it up there and away it goes.
I just love that these tools for destruction are actually what we need to save us all from planetary destruction. But it's not the first time that we've talked about using missiles like this before. There's a team out of Copenhagen that has talked about building a spaceship that will take missiles to potentially hazardous asteroids. So it's an interesting concept, not exactly new, but I'm curious to see how it turns out in 2036, right?
Yeah. I wonder if this is even worth Russia's time and energy. I mean, the one that they're referencing in 2036, NASA has already said that it's not going to hit Earth, not even going to come close. So is this really worth it?
I think let's ask the guy who just died from meteorite last week. I think it's worth it.
Or did he?
Or did he? We don't know.
Scientists have finally proven Einstein's centriole theory about gravitational waves. Lauren, how big of a deal is this?
I mean, this is really big. Einstein predicted this over 100 years ago, so now we're finally getting confirmation that it's real. So if you can think about it, all the objects, when we move through the universe, we create waves. You and me, right now, we're creating waves.
Yeah.
But our waves are way too small, so in order for scientists to pick them up, they had to look for black holes spinning around each other 1.3 billion light years away, and they were able to make waves big enough and at the right frequency that we could detect them here from Earth.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
This has been compared to Galileo holding up his telescope to look at the planets, or, you know, the discovery of the Higgs particle. I think it's really cool, and I'm wondering now, like, is this going to herald a completely new era in physics? Like, this is the significant thing.
I think it will. I mean, if it can be related to, like, when we discovered radio telescopes and then we were able to detect all these different radio waves that we couldn't see, but we were able to now confidently detect them, I think it kind of opens the doors to being able to study other things in the universe and gives us confidence that we did, you know, discover this, and we can have this new way of discovering other things.
But what's interesting in the article, it said that if it's true, so can we go behind this and call it fact at this point?
Yeah, with science, it still takes time to figure that stuff out.
Easter Island was not destroyed by war based on an analysis of spear points. James, were the natives of Easter Island a peaceful people?
So there's been a big mystery about what happened to the population of Easter Island. When Europeans first got there in 1722, there were only maybe 3,000 people living there. Some theories suggest there could have been 20,000 at its height, but it's not really sure. But yeah, there were all these objects, these artifacts littering the island, basically made from volcanic glass. And, you know, it was long thought that these were spear points and this was evidence of some form of warfare. There's a new study now which says no, that they're not. They're general tools. So again, it casts a big question on what happened to the people in the island.
I think it's funny that some of the theories are saying that these tools might be for cultivation or even for tattoos. So kind of unfair of us to judge this culture for saying that they were warring people, but really they just wanted to make art.
Allegedly.
Yes.
And the paper still didn't even offer any solutions as to what actually did happen, so the entire thing is still a mystery. So yes, it's great that we found that this isn't true, but we still don't know what happened.
Well, some scientists say that, you know, it could have been various things. I mean, like some of the guys behind the study have also previously talked about, you know, it could have been when the Europeans arrived. Diseases.
It's going to be conspiracy theory for a while. Hopefully we'll figure it out in our lifetimes, because I know I'm chomping at the bit. Mini brains could help scientists understand how chemicals affect the brain. Claire, can these mini brains go rogue and get a mind of their own?
I hope not.
I know, right?
So anytime scientists come up with new drugs, they need to test them, and so usually we test it on mice because it's like the best, you know, model that we have. But if we were to be able to test it on brains or, you know, the human body, it's like the best case scenario. So scientists have taken stem cells and formed them into neurons and created these teeny brains that actually act like our brains, and it allows us to better study medications and study diseases of the brain and kind of understand more of the mysteries of the brain.
Tiny balls of brain cells. It's kind of creepy and cool, but it could have a lot of use. You know, it could help us in our knowledge of Zika. It could help us with our studies of Alzheimer's and also kind of understanding of pollutants and various environmental factors. I think it's really cool, but again, this is one of the ones where I want to see more.
And it's definitely promising, but there are some benefits to having animal testing. Sometimes you need to know how drugs affect not just the brain, but the entire body. So you need an entire organism for that. However, I do applaud ways to move away from animal testing. We just haven't found the best model yet.
I am curious to know what bioethicists think of this, though. Slippery slope. Now you know what we think. Tell us what you think using the hashtag 444Science.